ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Them Nerds once again. Today, we are bringing you our Top 5 Tuesday, and today our Top 5 is focusing on the first two big Marvel TV properties that are going to be coming to Disney+. We are talking about the top 5 things we hope to see in Falcon and the Winter Soldier and WandaVision. Jerry, kick us off. What do you got?
I want to see, well, there is rumors that Quicksilver returns in the series, but I want to see some kind of, maybe idea of how their powers were given to them. But I want to see that return, Thanos and Ultron. I feel like those are the three big changes within Wanda that kind of has made her mentally broken. And I think that, these would be a reason why they could maybe use them as antagonists within the property.
Sure, definitely. Even if they're just all in her head.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. Speaking of Quicksilver, my number 5 choice also has to do with Quicksilver, but it's a little bit different. I am hoping to see her getting confused because there are multiple Quicksilvers. They've already talked about casting Evan Peters to be on this show, who of course was Quicksilver in the X-Men films. And they could also bring in Aaron Taylor Johnson, who played Quicksilver in the Avengers films. I would love to see that sort of, a lot of my stuff here has to do with WandaVision, has to do with like this idea of multiverse and things kind of overlapping. So that's my number 5 choice. Double Quicksilvers.
Actually, my preference was always the MCU Quicksilver. I liked the scenes that they had in the X-Men version, but I felt like we didn't get enough of a story from the MCU one, so he deserves to have a little bit of a refresher.
Yeah, that would be great. What do you got at number 4?
I want to see what happened with Monica Rambeau and her mother during that whole period of time. Now she's obviously in this series and she's being played by an adult. And so I want to see what happened between that time period, just like maybe a bunch of montages of them just sitting outside waiting for something to happen and nothing coming.
Lots of porch sitting.
Yeah,
that would be great. They really do have an opportunity here to fill in some of those gaps.
Yeah, and I think that it also could lead into an idea of how she got into where she's at right now. Where I think most of us, from leaked set footage and everything else, have the assumption that she's a member of S.H.I.E.L.D. So maybe seeing how that happens.
Definitely. Speaking of S.H.I.E.L.D., my number 4, I'm actually going to talk about something that I hope to see in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I hope to see some kind of nod to the events and characters from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm hoping that we get to see, Daisy Johnson or Yo-Yo or Mac in some capacity. Now, not that they need to be like a big part of it or whatever, and I know there's a lot of, it's convoluted between the timelines or whatever, but I would love to see some kind of acknowledgement that these people are still out there fighting the good fight and doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So that's number 4 for me. What do you got at number 3?
It seems like it made you depressed. I want to see Magneto.
Oh, yeah.
In the actual series, in
WandaVision.
In WandaVision. Give a nod to the, the father of both these kids, like the reason why this happened. There has been some novels and like short story kind of children's literature that have come out recently where it's more of a MCU directed story where they're trying to fill in the holes. And they made mention of the fact that, picking these two was no mistake. They had found these irregular, I'm not even gonna try it. They found some kids that had some problems going on there in that town.
They found some weirdos.
Yeah, no, they found some abnormalities within the community, and that's why they picked that Swedish town or wherever it was at, Sokovia. Yeah,
Sokovia. Yeah.
So why not have Magneto there? Maybe it's before it was Sokovia, it was Genosha.
Right. That's one of the big glaring omissions for me right now in the MCU is the fact that Wanda especially is such a big part of it. We know who her dad is, those of us that pay attention, but he's not there yet. So that would be a super cool way to introduce him. And of course, bring in some X-Men stuff while they're at it. My number 3 is just, I literally wrote down the word cameos with several exclamation points. I want to see as many cameos as possible in WandaVision, because we know that it's going to be she's going to be exploring this idea of multiverse and this idea of like, you know, blurring realities. You know, the possibility of different Spideys, of people from the X-Men, like Magneto, who you mentioned, seeing some of the Avengers who are no longer with us coming back, you know, Captain America, Iron Man making little quick cameos, you know, and even alternate versions of these characters. You know, we've got this might be a good way to you know, introduce Miles Morales. Just have him pop up and it's like he's swinging around in the different costume, and he takes his mask off, and you see this kid who is not Peter Parker, and you're like, oh, just quick little glimpses. I'm hoping that we get to see that, because her brain is going to be, you know, we know that she has this like super powerful mind, and we know that we're going to see it like bouncing all over the place, because it's, you know, they're trying to trap her in some kind of mental prison or whatever. And I just think that it would be a really cool way to just put a whole bunch of little Easter eggs in there. So that's my number 3.
Yeah, I think that would work.
What about you? Number 3.
I think that Nick Fury needs to be inside of it. I think that maybe they can utilize him for to kind of tie up the idea that Carol Danvers never came back, so that maybe he stays within that relationship with Monica, and he's the one who kind of builds up her military thing along with her mother, and then he's the one who ultimately gets her into that shield position.
Right on. Number 2 for me is in WandaVision. I hope that we get some glimpses, and you know, this again, I'm going off of a lot of like assumptions that there's going to be a lot of multiverse stuff. I want to see some nod to what's going on far, far away from Earth. My, you know, hope would be that we would get to see the introduction of some nod to some of the properties that were in Fantastic Four, like Silver Surfer and Galactus. If she's able to see into all these different realities and all these, you know, folding timelines, why not see far out into space too? If time and reality is not a problem for her, why would space?
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe. I don't know. What else you got?
Well, you know, my last one was more of a Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We know that there's going to be this Madripoor connection, and I want to see something that ties it to Wolverine. If it's not Wolverine itself, like, you know, there's a scene in X2 where Wolverine is in the dam, and he's like looking at the area where he was created, and he sees just the slashes on the cement block where it's obviously from his claws. Like, even if you just saw on a wall, you know, this just the 3 strike marks on it, just so that you have an idea that, oh wait, I think he was here. You know, like a wink and a nod at his character, I think would be great.
Definitely. And, you know, that actually brings me to my number 1, which is also Wolverine related. You know, Falcon and Winter Soldier, I get this idea that we're going to see kind of like an international sort of spycraft, sort of, you know, military themed sort of thing going on. That's just kind of the vibe that I get. And I would love to see some nod to the fact that that Wolverine, the Weapon X project, Alpha Flight would be super cool. Something that acknowledges, because we get this impression that S.H.I.E.L.D. is just like this American thing. I mean, even you can see here, you know, in the background, I have this S.H.I.E.L.D. Background, and there's a little American flag inside of the, you know, the S.H.I.E.L.D. Logo. It would be cool to acknowledge that there are other countries that are doing the same kind of thing. And Alpha Flight really hasn't gotten much of a nod anywhere.
No.
And Wolverine played, you know, a part in that at one point. So it might be kind of cool for that to happen. That would be.
Yeah, why not?
You know,
I think that what we are saying is that we need mutants. So yes, give us as many mutants in both these series. You know, this is the way to introduce them. Yeah. And make them an anomaly. And damn, today's just not my day. But make it like, you know, where people don't understand what they are.
Yeah.
You know, but they you know, obviously know that they can ultimately be a pretty big threat.
Right. Like it's a new discovery. They're kind of trying to figure out how to deal with it. It'd be a great way to introduce mutants in small doses. And then, once they're kind of on the scene, you can pick and choose and go, full fledged into the X-Men, either on Disney Plus, as you have mentioned before, or back on the big screen.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So that's our top 5 things we want to see out of these first 2 big properties on Disney Plus, Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision. What would you like to see? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on social media at We Them Nerds on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Definitely check out Jerry's Spotlights on Instagram. Super good stuff there. I learn something new every time I look through one of them. And don't forget to comment on stuff that we post on Facebook and Instagram. We love to have the conversations with you guys. That's it for Them Nerds for today. Be good to each other. We'll see you next time.
Later.